Coming up on the Charge on Air, the Strait of Hormuz is still not open for business, and President Trump says he doesn't even know who to negotiate with.
Finals are on the horizon, and that means it's time to study those notes. We take a look at how different styles of note-taking affect your studies.
UCF film students are traveling where? Find out what has them flying halfway across the globe.
In sports, UCF football had a player drafted in round 1 of the NFL draft last night. Find out who it is and where he'll be suiting up.
The Charge on Air starts right now. Afternoon and welcome to the Charge on Air. I'm Isaac Abdelmessih.
And I'm Nick Cohen. Today is Friday, April 24th, 2026.
It was announced today that Steve Lotz passed away last week. Lotz was a respected artist in the Orlando community and was also the founder of UCF's art department. He started teaching here in 1968 and was the chair of the department for a decade. He retired as a professor emeritus in 2003 as head of the department. Lotz was the catalyst for the development and success of the university's visual arts program success. He passed from natural causes at the age of 87.
The United Faculty for Florida UCF President Talat Rahman urges students and staff to help sign a new petition. UFF sent out an email to faculty stating that collective action is needed to overturn a decision to release College of Community Innovation and Education, or CCIE, faculty after May of 2027. The email stressed that students deserve continuity in advising, mentoring, and instruction. But to do that, the community needs to strengthen those programs by investing in people who sustain them. You can find the petition through change.org under Stop the Cuts at University of Central Florida. Rahman asks to share the petition with students, staff, alumni, and even community partners.
Tensions in the Middle East have reached another halt as the strategic Strait of Hormuz remains closed following a series of maritime attacks and an increasing standoff between America and Iran. Despite a ceasefire extension, Iran has retaliated against a U.S. naval blockade by reportedly taking 2 oil tankers and closing the passage, forcing a halt to most commercial oil shipping, according to CBS News. The strait, which normally serves as the pathway for 20% of the world's oil, has faced multiple setbacks since the start of the U.S.-Israeli war against Iran. CBS reported that President Donald Trump took to Truth Social on Thursday to order the U.S. Navy to, quote, shoot and kill any Iranian boats attempting to lay sea mines in the area. The president says that Iran wants to make a deal, but that the country doesn't know who its leader is.
They want to make a deal. We have been speaking to them, but they don't even know who's leading the country. They're in turmoil. They're in turmoil, so we thought we'd give them a little chance to get some of their turmoil resolved.
Oil prices continue to increase, and maritime intelligence indicates major oil tankers are now stuck outside the waterway as the standoff intensifies. As of this morning, U.S. Central Command reports that the U.S. blockade remains in effect, while it could take months to fully clear the strait of all explosive hazards. We'll keep you updated here at The Charge as the situation unfolds.
Final season is in full swing, and that means students are taking notes. Charge on Air reporter Orion Boone speaks on the connection between how you take your notes and how it will impact how well you learn.
The library is full of students studying. Passing their finals is at the forefront of their mind. That includes going over their notes over and over again. Peggy Altier is a freshman entertainment management major. She switched from paper to digital notes this semester to keep up with her professor.
She would go through the slides really quickly, so I didn't have time to write it all down super quickly. And then I look over and I see other people taking notes on Google Doc, and I was like, whoa, I didn't even think of that.
But hitting the books might actually be the way to go. Associate psychology professor Joseph Schmidt says paper notes overall perform better.
There's something linked to sort of the handwriting and the spatial information being locked in one spot on the page. When you're using digital information, it's scrolling and everything, so that makes it harder to sort of bind the information together. One of the biggest detriments to using electronic media is actually multitasking, because you have increased access to media content. Oh, someone texts me, I'm going to go ahead and respond and everything, right? And it's that multitasking that actually creates a much larger deficit.
Altier has noticed that memory deficit in her own studies.
If I'm typing something out super quickly, I'm not as engaged with the topic, because with writing, it's I have to look at it and remember what it's about to say before I write it down.
Whatever way you take notes, paying attention is key to retaining that information, according to Schmidt. In Orlando, Orion Boone, The Charge on Air.
Schmidt says working under no time pressure, physical and digital notes perform the same.
The Orlando Science Center is searching for its next group of volunteers from UCF. The Orlando Science Center is where visitors get interactive with exhibits, demonstrations, and even see live animals. Volunteers are a critical part of that experience. Sky Lindman is the group program designer and science presenter at the Orlando Science Center. She says volunteering kick-started her career.
I learned a lot about how to work in a group, how to be confident in myself and be able to present information to people. It's really hard to kind of get comfortable in your own knowledge. And I think volunteering, especially in a museum like the Science Center, really gets you comfortable in yourself.
Current volunteers say working with the kids as they learn is one of the most rewarding parts of it all. They say that helping them understand the exhibits and presentations has shaped their careers as well. Students looking to volunteer can sign up at osc.org.
The FIFA World Cup takes place in the United States, Mexico, and Canada over the summer and brings many opportunities for UCF students. The World Cup is back in the United States since the 1994 edition. Played every 4 years, it brings fans all over the world to follow their country, reach glory, and lift the trophy for the biggest tournament in the world. With the increased tourism, it allows colleges like the Rosen College to send students to volunteer at events of this magnitude. Rosen students have volunteered at events like the Super Bowl, Formula One, and more. Rosen Associate Dean Alan File says why this is one of the best opportunities for hospitality students that we will see.
And it's on a completely different scale. The Super Bowl's just one of, it's just like one game, one event. Obviously, it's very big. It's very big. But compared to the Soccer World Cup, it's not even in the same league. Some of them will be in ticketing. Some will be in traditional hospitality. Some will be in visitor services. It covers the full spectrum.
With how big the sports world is, Rosen is working alongside other colleges to bring a sports program into the hospitality and tourism world.
A UCF entrepreneur is streamlining processes in healthcare. His new venture, CareFlow, won UCF's Shark Tank competition called Joust in a year where the competition saw a record number of competitive applicants. Charge on Air reporter Gabriela Skazafava tells us how the company is using AI to tackle costly problems in healthcare.
What you're looking at here is just what kind of the check-in front desk person sees.
CareFlow founder Jad Shaloub is demoing one of the tools his company built to streamline patient visits. Their newest tool, Deacon, uses AI to help clinics reduce insurance claim denials, a costly and growing issue. It reviews clinical notes, checks insurer rules, and flags problems before claims are submitted. Joust organizer Dr. Cameron Ford says CareFlow stood out for its market traction.
So it's interesting because I think they're providing value for a lot of different stakeholders in the medical care provisioning process. So I'm really optimistic about their.
CareFlow walked away with $12,000 plus $27,000 in services, and it all happened right behind me in the Pegasus Ballroom where this year's Joust competition took place.
The win came the day before Shaloub left his full-time job.
Winning the competition has been the perfect springboard into this new chapter for us where I'm now full-time again with my business. It's given us exposure and the in-kind services as well to just really focus in on this go-to-market for Deacon and get the word out.
Dr. Ford says seeing peers launch real companies encourages more students to pursue their own ideas. CareFlow is now preparing for its next chapter with Deacon. In Orlando, Gabriela Scazafava, The Charge on Air.
CareFlow's team says the win gives them momentum as they grow Deacon. And UCF leaders say they'll keep supporting both this year's finalists and the next wave of student innovators. Nick, the weather this week has been really spectacular.
Couldn't agree more with you, Isaac. I mean, let's bring in student weather anchor Diego Ortiz to tell us more about what's going on out there.
Yeah, guys, the weather has been really good the last week or so. I mean, I went to the beach on Sunday. It was a little cloudy, but then the sun came out and I had a good time. But let's take a look now at those current conditions here in Orlando. Alrighty, so currently right now outside it's 82 degrees, a 51% humidity, winds at 4 miles per hour, 149 degrees southeast, and guys, our favorite part, 0% chance of rain. So, obviously that's what we look forward to. No rain, just sunny days. We're in the good old days right now, guys, but more on weather later.
Thank you, Diego. 10 UCF students are traveling to Bulgaria for the UCF International Documentary Lab.
And school is an act of faith, and you get that faith in yourself when you do things, small and big.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Okay, here we go, throw it!
Yeah. You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
Nice.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, how to control the flames, what to do with hot coals, how to secure your chains.
There's no sparks.
But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
A select group of UCF film students are traveling across the world to Bulgaria to make documentaries. Charge on Air reporter John Warner tells us more about the students traveling to a land far, far away.
Tracy Jane is a Master's of Fine Arts student at UCF, and while the program is intensive, she's gearing up for a new challenge. She's one of just 10 UCF film students selected to travel to Bulgaria next month for the UCF International Documentary Lab.
Really, it's about the collaboration with the Bulgarians and to tell stories that are uniquely Bulgarian.
Jane says not knowing your teammates or your topic is definitely a challenge.
Well, so much of art and life and school is an act of faith, and you get that faith in yourself when you do things, small and big, and this is a pretty big thing.
Bulgaria is a long ways away from UCF, about 5,500 miles to be exact, which means about a 17-plus hour flight. But the students and the film program wouldn't have it any other way.
I probably had 25 interview with me, and out of that I picked 10.
Philip Peters is a professor of film at UCF. He's been organizing the international travels for many years.
It's amazing to watch two Americans, two Bulgarians that have never met each other until the day we arrived. I put them in teams and they're off running, and then they're figuring out the topics, starting shooting, started editing.
Jane says she might not always know how, but she knows it will get done and it will be fun.
I don't know how it's going to work out, but by the end of the month, we will have made a whole documentary and had fun and met some cool new friends across the globe.
At UCF, John Warner, The Charge, on air.
The 10 UCF students depart on May 10th. The films will be screened to a live audience. Peter says this documentary lab is a big reason why UCF is the nation's #1 school for film production.
A UCF alum is leveling the playing field for students with Hire Match AI. Launched last week, the tool bypasses ATS, or automated tracking systems, which often reject resumes based solely on keywords, with plans to release a free version for students by next year. Charge on Air reporter Kiara Velez tells us more.
For some students, the job hunt starts with a submit button and can end just as fast with an automated rejection. It's a system Hire Match AI co-creator Justin Press calls broken.
We just want to give fair opportunities where we can, and we've seen a lot of that. And it's pretty, can I show you? Yeah, it's pretty visible.
Press is a 2024 photonics science and engineering grad. He developed the tool at UCF Center for Entrepreneurs and Leadership. After seeing students struggle to land internships, he decided to reverse engineer the recruitment process and applied the idea to UCF's Joust competition for business back in 2023. Justin Press's newly launched AI component of Hire Match AI is first screening candidates for companies. But by next year, Justin Press wants to announce a free service for students to review their resumes before they apply for a job.
But for the job market, it's like whenever you would submit like 100 applications, you get denied for all of them in the span of a day. So it's like, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that would be
works
useful.
with an upload and questionnaire. Applicants specify skills and use Hire Match AI to improve their resume for free, ensuring no skill goes unnoticed by a company's AI filters.
It could be a typo, it could be like you didn't match the capitalization. It could be a lot of like really small details that just fly under the radar. And because of that, like it will basically count for 0.
In Orlando, I'm Kiara Velez, The Charge on Air.
The tool officially went live on April 14th, and Press is currently speaking with other 30 companies with headcounts up to 200 and hopes to face the student-facing version ready by 2027.
With finals week ahead, UCF students are decompressing with therapy dogs. The Transfer Center hosted its Pause for a Break event on Thursday. Over 100 people RSVP'd, packing the room in Trevor Colburn Hall. Students sat with smiles to pet and interact with each dog. Organizers added a new origami activity to the arts and crafts at the event. Transfer Center graduate assistant Sydney Gillis says pet events help with tension.
Confident as they're going into their finals, and to kind of get unconditional love from an animal and de-stress in that way and just connect with something that just doesn't have any judgment really helps students to feel calm.
Wrote down their favorite self-care practices during the event. Event leaders reminded students about academic success resources for finals, and everyone left the event a little lighter and a little more prepared for the end of the semester. The temperatures were mild to start this week, but it definitely is starting to heat up as we approach the weekend.
Absolutely. When we come back, we'll take a look at the forecast for this weekend and beyond.
Some people judge a book by its cover, and if you're not what people are looking for, you're kind of like a reject.
At school, it feels like everyone's staring at me and I'm just kind of not really a person.
Sometimes
I can't believe that you could be proud of me if I'm not proud of myself.
It just was hard today. Nobody was listening to me.
Think of our best times together. Let's do more of that.
Try to understand me more, and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at soundidouttogether.org.
Well, Nick, started mild, got really hot. It's a little humid. There was some rain, maybe some wind. So very unexpected weather this past week that we've been seeing.
Yes, I'm curious what the forecast is ahead. Let's bring back student weather anchor Diego Ortiz to tell us more.
Yeah, guys. So again, it has been a little bit of an inconsistent weather. We did have some rain, but we're here now, and I think we have some things to look forward to. So let's take a look at those temperatures across Central Florida. At the Space Coast, Brevard, 79 degrees in Melbourne, Florida. And then here in the west, 82 degrees in Tampa, 81 in Winter Haven, 81 here in Orlando, 81 in Leesburg as well, 83 degrees in Gainesville, and then 79 in the Palm Coast. But guys, let's take a look now at that 5-day forecast, shall we? Alrighty, so on Saturday, got pretty good temperatures. 85 degrees is a high, 64 is a low, no rain. Do get some rain on Sunday though. The 86 will be the high, 66 is a low, 45% chance of rain. But after that, guys, clean slate of no rain. 83 is gonna be the high on Monday, 68 will be the low. Again, 85 on Tuesday is a high, 65 will be the low. And then on Wednesday, 88 degrees is the high, and then a 63 low. So guys, we got good weather, so back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Diego. Coming up, ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-dum-bum-bum.
UCF had a player drafted in round 1 of the NFL draft last night.
The guys going through the rotation, and the guys have been playing and adding obviously a few new pieces.
Find out how the team is planning to replace his production.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. One in 3 adults has prediabetes, and you could be one of them. There are usually no signs for prediabetes, so it's important to understand your risk. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. Those 9 months were also 273 days of planning. What about your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. And let's not forget those barbecues you plan in detail for your family and your more vegetarian by the day best friends. That surprise party for your parents' golden anniversary? You get the gold in planning. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
How crazy it is at UCF right now.
UCF baseball is looking to bounce back. Spring football is progressing, and one night just made program history. I'm Andrew Cherico, and let's take a look at what happened this week in UCF sports. The UCF softball Knights secured another momentum pusher of a win on Wednesday and now look for a second straight victory, this time against an in-state rival. The number 21 ranked Knights are heating up at the right time, just a couple weeks before the start of the Big 12 softball tournament. The Knights improved to 36 wins on the season after a 4-1 victory over North Florida at home on Wednesday, thanks to 2 runs that came in the bottom of the 5th inning, and another 2 that came in the 6th. The team moved up a spot in the latest NCAA RPI rankings after the win. Now, UCF is gearing up to take on the number 5 ranked UF Gators in a 2-game series that starts tonight at 6 p.m. in Gainesville. This is the first game between the Gators and the Knights this season. UCF baseball is looking to bounce back up in the standings this weekend after a tough stretch. UCF baseball dropped from 1st to 4th in the Big 12 conference after losing 5 of their last 6 Big 12 matchups. The Knights got swept by the first-place Kansas even though the matchup were close, but followed by the bad results by dropping 2 games against Cincinnati, who was down in the standings. The Knights will be on the road taking on the University of Utah, which is a game behind the Knights, making a high-stakes series. Junior outfielder Andrew Williamson highlights the team's ability to come back.
It definitely says a lot. We've been able to prove so far that we were able to come back. I think it was Oklahoma State, we were down 6, so as a team, we have belief that we can come back and respond when needed to. So, I think that just definitely just adds to the list that builds our confidence, knowing that we can come back from deficits or failure.
Right field. Things around as they have struggled on the road with a record of 5-7.
So, Malachi Lawrence going in the first round, a big milestone, Andrew and Nick, really for UCF athletics in general, and to the Dallas Cowboys too.
Yeah, guys, this was the biggest news of UCF this past week. He is the fifth UCF player to be drafted in the first round, the first defensive edge to be drafted in the first round for a UCF Knights. Historic weekend.
Well, and also to the Cowboys at number 23, we're all very happy for him, but kind of a reach in my book. I don't know, but very happy for him, and I think he'll be really good with the Cowboys this season.
Couldn't agree more. This was the spring semester class of 2026 final show in the studio. Thank you for trusting us with your news and for being a part of our journey.
For the last time, thanks for joining us, Knights. Remember, you can always keep up with us during the week on thechargenews.com. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.
And as always, go Knights, charge on.